decided to do this, I had just recently started with Lululemon. And my move to Lululemon had been very intentional. I had spent many, many years working in high-profile media relations, corporate communications, issues management, and crisis communications. And I took some time off last year, and I thought to myself, I'm going to be really intentional about what I do next. And the opportunity came up with Lululemon. And I thought to myself, Lululemon, what a great opportunity to do something completely different and will surely, surely absolve me from issues management and crisis communications. What could possibly go wrong with yoga pants? So lesson 1, when you're in communications, there are always issues. But thinking back on the common thread, I think it's something that earlier in my career I didn't place enough value on. I was always focused on getting to the next level, getting the right opportunity, not turning anything down. And in more recent years, I've had the privilege of having conversations with many people who are trying to make decisions in their career, and it amazes me how much this topic doesn't come up, and it should. I didn't enter into the world of PR and communications easily. When I finished university, I couldn't find a job, and so I was temping. And I used to take the bus downtown every day, and I would enter an office, which was a government organization, and I was a receptionist, and I would answer phones for people who, in my opinion, had lives when I didn't. And I had the privilege of getting to sit in a bulletproof glass booth. And I would put on my headsets, and I would sit down in the bulletproof glass booth, and I was already not feeling great about myself. And then adding insult to injury, when I'd sit down, there was a hole in the glass where people could speak into. And when I sat down, the hole pointed directly at my forehead. And I thought to myself, there has to be something better than this, a university degree, bilingual in both of Canada's official languages, and I am sitting in a bulletproof glass booth with a hole that points directly between my eyes. It was pretty frustrating. And it was right around that time I decided that that's going to pay my rent, but I'm going to start finding people who share the same passion as me. I'm going to find people who are passionate about the things I'm passionate about. And I started volunteering. And I ended up getting involved with Kids Help Phone. And I ended up launching the BC chapter of Kids Help Phone here in Vancouver. And it was the greatest experience of my life. But during that time, I met a fellow who ended up becoming my boss for 10 years. And he gave me a T-shirt. And the T-shirt said, "Passion Works." And he said that someday he was going to own his own company. And he was only going to hire people who shared the same passion for work that he did. And I hung on to that T-shirt. And I kept it through the years. And the volunteering that I did ended up leading to incredible opportunities. I traveled on the World Cup circuit for 10 years with the Canadian ski team as the media director. I did 5 Olympic Games, and eventually I landed at Vanoc. And every now and then I would be cleaning out my closet or taking things to Goodwill, and that T-shirt would come up. It would show up at the bottom of my drawer, and I'd look at it and I'd ask myself, am I doing what I'm passionate about? And the answer was yes, but there was something missing. And I couldn't figure out what that piece was that was missing. And I didn't really figure it out until my 5 years at the Olympic Games as the media director. It was far and away the greatest privilege of my life to work on that project. But what made it so incredible was that I was with like-minded people every single day who all were putting service above self on behalf of their nation to deliver the best games ever. Everybody shared the same passion for the project. I had the privilege of working side by side with Mo every day, and she talked like that every single day, I can tell you. Especially the part about the F-bombs. And I have quite a few colleagues actually who are here tonight, and it's wonderful to see everyone. But everybody there was passionate about the work they were doing, and they were passionate about the team they were on. And it was an incredibly difficult job. And I had a mantra above my desk that always said, it's amazing what you can accomplish when no one cares who gets the credit. And I've had several people who work for me at the Games who've emailed me in the last few years who've said, I've thought about that. And that's another thing that I feel really, really strongly about. It's so much better when you're not worried about who's got their name on the bottom of things. I learned that the relationships you create are the foundation for exceptional work environments. And those relationships are what get you through the tough stuff, because there will always be tough stuff. And from that moment forward, Oh, sorry, hang on a second here. I was just going to say the other piece is that when I reflect on the challenges that I've faced as a communicator through the years, I rarely look back with great pride and say that was the best press release ever. I don't keep the key messages and go through them again and say, yeah, wow, we hit it out of the park on that one. But I do remember the people I sat around a table with writing those key messages. I remember the well-delivered joke that cut the tension. I remember the quiet conversations that I had with a colleague where they shared something about themselves and I did the same, and suddenly we were closer. I remember the moments when I was sitting and working and somebody was halfway out the door and turned around and came back to help me finish. And I remember the moments even more when I had the privilege of being that person who turned around and came back. That's the stuff I remember. And my experience at the Games really made me realize that you have to place as much value on the people that you're working with as the job that you're doing. So what do I know now that I didn't know then? I know that it doesn't matter what your business card says. That's not what people will remember you for. It's not why people will want you on your team. I believe it doesn't matter where you sit. Offices can often be isolating and lonely, and fussing over whether or not you're by a window is really wasted energy. I believe that while we live in an incredible age of technology that's pushing all of us as communicators to up our game on a daily basis, there is still no substitute for the face-to-face conversation. I believe that a day without laughter in the workplace is a true travesty. We spend far too much of our lives invested in our work to not feel joy from the people that we see every day. I've recently joined Lululemon, and as I said, it was a very intentional decision. With a sport and government background, earlier on in my career, I wouldn't have believed that I could take on a job that was product and consumer PR. This is new to me. And I would have thought to myself, no, I do issues management, crisis communications, sport media, that's what I do. Here's what I know now, though. I know that my decision to go to Lululemon has been as much about putting myself in a community of people that are like-minded, that are passionate, that are goal-oriented, and they're people that every single day I get up and I go to work and they make me laugh. And I will take that any day over the best title in the world or the corner office. So thank you very much.